Eder Militáo's story at Real Madrid reads like a season finale cliffhanger. A young man who arrived with hype and a €50 million price tag, whose rise was interrupted by back-to-back ACL injuries, now stands at the centre of a club decision that will shape the next era. The last 2 seasons saw him limited to barely more than 30 appearances, leaving fans and executives with an uncomfortable question. Is Militao the long-term answer at the heart of this defence, or a beloved figure whose body can no longer sustain elite output? Those doubts are not theoretical. They are grounded in injury history and availability. What has made this moment tense and intriguing is the simultaneous arrival of fresh resources. Real Madrid have moved decisively in the market, adding a high-profile young centre-back for a fee reported around €58 million, signalling a clear intent to refresh the backline and inject youth into a unit that has been propped up by veterans. That signing reshuffles the deck. Suddenly, Militao's road back to guaranteed starts runs alongside a generational prospect, and the club's leaders must weigh history, form, finances and future potential when picking their defensive pillars. Yet the raw human headlines only tell part of the story. In the brief pre-season under Xabi Alonso, Militao has shown encouraging flashes that complicate the narrative. He returned to action after a long layoff, put in a series of solid training performances, and even found the net in friendlies. Moments that do more than boost numbers. They restore confidence, both inside the dressing room and among supporters who remember the player who once looked unassailable. Real's decision to keep him tied down until 2028 reflects that institutional trust. The club sees value in his return and has committed to giving him a platform to reassert himself. Still, the practical realities are unavoidable. 2 major knee injuries in quick succession leave lingering physical and psychological questions. Can Militao sustain 40-50 competitive matches across a season? Can he recover sharpness in one-on-one duels and maintain explosive recovery runs over 90 minutes? Those are the data points coaching staff and medical teams will be watching, and they explain why Real's recruitment strategy has been proactive. Investing heavily in a younger, less injury-prone alternative is not an indictment as much as it is insurance, a recognition that elite clubs must plan for contingencies while offering pathways for returning stars. There's also the veteran dynamic. Reports indicate the club is unlikely to extend contracts for established defenders currently in the squad, a move that accelerates generational turnover and hands greater responsibility to the younger cohort and to those who can prove their form now. If those veteran exits occur as reported, Real's defence will enter a transitional window where leadership, resilience and consistency matter more than ever. For Militao, that means this season is crucial. It's a final audition not only versus opponents, but versus time and context. For supporters, the narrative is irresistible because it blends sentiment and strategy. The raw, when a player who has battled back scores in a friendly. The uncomfortable calculus when a club spends again in a position once considered settled. Technically, Militao still brings attributes that fit the modern centre-back profile. Aggressive press triggers, ball progression out of the back, and aerial presence. What remains to be proven is the cadence of those strengths across a full campaign and in the crucible of big Champions League nights. Coaches, fans and pundits will all watch the pre-season minutes, early league fixtures and the first real test against top opposition as the temperature gauge of his comeback. Ultimately, Real Madrid's decision to bet on Militao is both a vote of faith and a bet hedged by recruitment. The club's ambition is obvious. Remain competitive now while engineering a seamless future. For Militao, the narrative arc is simple yet heavy. Reclaim the form that made him world-class, and in doing so, justify the club's trust. Or struggle and let the new generation step forward. Either outcome will ripple beyond the single lineup sheet. It will inform transfer plans, tactical choices, and how Madrid balances loyalty with ruthless planning in an era where minutes and fitness increasingly dictate legacy. Keep an eye on the opening month of the season. It will tell you whether this is the comeback of a king or the start of a new defensive dynasty.